Simple present tense, affirmative statements, spelling rule number 2. So there are two verb forms when you say or write the affirmative statements in the simple present tense. You can write a verb with no S and a verb with S. So now let's take a look, spelling rule number 2. For all verbs that end in vowel plus Y, you just add an S. Remember, vowels are A, E, I, O, U. So let's look at the verb buy. U is a vowel, and we have a Y, so we just add an S. My sister buys a coffee at Tim Hortons every day. And if I want to say I, do we use an S? No. I buy coffee at Tim Hortons every day. Why do we have an S with my sister? Because it's she buys. So with he, she, it, you need an S on the verb. I, you, we, they, no S. Now let's take a look at another verb. Let's look at the verb play. We have vowel plus Y. You just add S. My brother plays soccer on the weekends. Why do we have an S? Because the subject is brother. It's he. But my friends and I play soccer on the weekends. Do we have an S? No S, because the subject is my friends and I. And my friends and I is the same like saying we play soccer on the weekends. Remember, only he, she, and it have an S on the verb. Let's take a look at the verb pay. So we have vowel plus Y. You just add an S. My father pays his bills once a month. And why do we have an S here? What's the subject? My father. What's the subject pronoun for my father? He. I pay my bills once a month. Do I have an S? No S. Why? Because the subject is I. And with I, you don't have an S. So I pay my bills once a month. You. You pay. He. He pays. She. She pays. We. We pay. You. You pay. And they pay. Now, let's take a look at the verb enjoy. We have a vowel and a Y, so we just add an S. My boyfriend enjoys skiing in the winter. Why do we have an S? Because the subject is my boyfriend. And what is the subject pronoun for boyfriend? He. Now, let's look at this sentence. My parents enjoy skiing in the winter. Do we have an S? No S. Because what's the subject? Parents. So parents are two people. So what is the subject pronoun for parents? They. They enjoy skiing in the winter. If you want to say I, what is the verb? I enjoy. You enjoy. He enjoys. She enjoys. We enjoy. They enjoy. Now, let's look at the verb pray. So you have vowel plus Y, you just add an S. My best friend always prays. Why do we have an S? Because best friend is he or she, and it's one best friend. I always pray. Do we have an S? No, no S, because the subject is I. Let's look at another verb that has a consonant and Y. The verb is worry. So you have a consonant and Y. What do? You change the Y to I and you add ES. A mother always worries about her children. I always worry about my grandmother. Mother is like she, so we need to put an S, but the spelling is very important. You need to change the Y to I and you add ES, no extra sound. Let's look at another verb with a consonant and a Y. Cry. We have consonant plus Y, so when we write it, we change the Y to I and we add ES and no extra sound. My friend cries at sad movies. But with I, we say, I cry at sad movies. So remember the two forms, the verb no S and the verb with the S. Now, let's look at the verb dry. R is a consonant, then we have a Y. So what does the Y change to? That's right, to I. And we add ES. I wash the dishes and my husband dries the dishes. Wash, is there an S with wash? No. Why not? Because what is the subject? The subject is I. Now look at the next verb, dries. Do we have an S? Yes. Why? Because the subject is husband. Now look at the spelling. Do we have S, ES, or IES? We have IES because the last two letters were consonant and a Y. Let's review what we've learned. So the verb in the affirmative statement has two forms in the simple present. So we have the verb, and then we have I work, you work, they work. Now we learned that with he, she, it, if the verb has a consonant plus a Y, you change the Y to I and you add ES.